Thank you so much, and I get some fun questions. I learn from you. Every time I speak to a group, I learn from you. So thank you so much for providing questions.
Cathie, the first question is, from the Eagle Forum perspective, what do you think is the most important initiative that the United Nations will be pushing in the future?
Oh, that's a great question. And let me tell you, on November 21, Lord willing, I am departing for Doha, Qatar, for my next United Nations meeting. So I look forward to hopefully coming back and telling you about what I see and hear there. There are two things that I'm tracking at the United Nations. Both of these are under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, because it is the green agenda that the United Nations is using in order to spread Marxism globally. And those two things are, number one, a green climate fund. This was created in Copenhagen just a few years ago. It was reiterated last year in Durban, South Africa, but they have not done anything with what they are going to tax. This is what it is a global tax. The United Nations already has a judicial branch, it has a legislative branch, it has an executive branch. It does not have the right to tax. And so it is up to us as Americans to tell them that that is crossing the line. And right now, I can tell you, as much as you and I would love to say, get us out of the UN and the UN out of the US, it's not happening in Congress. They keep thinking, well, you know, they're a pretty good group when it comes to, well, look at that tsunami. Yeah, look at that tsunami. Who was there first? And who supplied most of the supplies? It was the USA, because we're the superpower, and because we are an exceptional nation. And we are a Christian nation too, Barack Obama. But anyway, so that global taxing is number one. The second thing is, one of the things that they want to tax, their dream come true, would be to tax carbon. Carbon is not a pollutant. It's less than 1% of the air that we breathe. The more carbon dioxide there is in the air, the more the plants and trees grow. And the more they grow, the more they emit what? Oxygen. So they want to cap and tax us. So you want to build an industry? Fine, you go right ahead, but you're going to owe the UN for that carbon that fuel produces. And so the more people you have and the more industry you have, the more taxes you will pay to the United Nations. So it is the Kyoto Protocol is what they call that one, and then the Green Climate Fund. But it is a tax and spend in both ways. It is enhancing the power of the UN. They don't have, and we want to make sure they don't. And even if they make this declaration, we have a plan as Eagle Forum to say to congressmen, okay, have they finally crossed the line for you? Will you sign a petition that simply says that you go for global taxation and we will withdraw every red cent from the United Nations? Will they do that?
Cathie, we all know that every single race, U.S. Senate race, is important, including the Todd Aiken race.
Yes.
What are the implications for Senator John Cornyn, who has refused to help fund the Aiken campaign?
I think John Cornyn is going to see the handwriting on the wall. I think that that if I was in his shoes, I would be afraid of we the people. Let me just tell you, you look at Marco Rubio, he didn't support him. You look at Mike Lee, you look at Ted Cruz, you look at Todd Aiken. I don't know if he did support, he might have supported Richard Murdoch in Indiana against Dick Lugar. And Dick Lugar is the Republican majority, on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He is the one with the most authority. He doesn't disagree with John Kerry on anything, who is the chairman of the committee. What does that tell you? And so I just don't think that the future is very bright for the John Cornyns and the Republican Senatorial Committee. But it's just like with Karl Rove. He even, in a flippant way, said he would like to kill Todd Aiken. Now they're accusing Richard Murdoch from Indiana of a similar kind of a statement. Why? Because he's pro-life. And so we're going to have to, as we the people, show them who is boss. And we can do it.
Okay. I don't even like this question, but I'll ask it anyway. What do we do if Obama wins, which he isn't?
You know, the polls are good, but this man is capable of stealing. When we wonder why it is that we have these foreigners coming in and thinking they have a right to observe our elections, it's because of a group that was called Acorn, and we saw them doing very unscrupulous and illegal things. So they dissolved the name, went into other organizational names, and they're still alive and well. They're requesting these people come in. And just like Joanne wisely pointed out early on, it's the states who have gone after voter ID, who are trying to ensure voter integrity, that they are attacking with these things. So I am afraid that Barack Hussein Obama, even with the polls as they are, the man has got 130 Obama offices up and running in the state of Florida. The man knows how to steal elections. That's what he did. You'll have, I mean, in Chicago, graveyards vote. Mickey Mouse is registered to vote. I mean, it is bizarre what is going on. John Fund from the Wall Street Journal has made a very big effort to expose this in 2 books, maybe even 3, I think, at this point. Catherine Engelbrecht, who you probably have heard from the King Street Patriots, a wonderful patriot. True the Vote is her organization name. If you want to get involved in poll watching and knowing what to do and what are your rights in order to assure integrity in your polling place, I highly recommend Catherine and her organization, True the Vote. But what if he wins? God is still on his throne.
Right.
He is not fretting. He's not wringing his hands. He's not even standing and looking down. He is seated. He is in sovereign control. And folks, I have had things happen in my life like you have. We've all suffered death of a loved one. We've all felt the loss, maybe of a job, or maybe of even an election or something that you wanted badly. But God is still on his throne, and he knows what is best for us. And you know what? He never leaves or forsakes us. And so if Obama is back in the White House, I think we hold on tight and we will watch our economy pummel. I'm very sorry to report that. I was at a seminar last weekend in San Antonio where there was a man who said that we're going to have to start a barter system because our money will have no value. And I really don't like to even think about that or go there. But I know this, that God will protect his own. And we know that his provisions will be there for us. And we're going to have to just remember to behave like the people that we are who represent the Most High God, and his name is Jesus.